Of the four papal basilicas, St. Paul's outside the walls represents the unity of the church. I find, again, with a theme that helps understand the decoration, the rebuilding in particular. This church is one that has been really rebuilt from the ground up on more than one occasion. Now, I mean, St. Peter's had its big rebuild in the 16th century, but this church, it has been taken down and rebuilt more than once. And it I think, moves a lot around the figure and the person of St. Paul and his role in uniting the church. One of the great characteristics of the Romanesque, which is very much like Paul's teachings themselves, is that the Romanesque gives you a sense of a solid core, a stability, but then it allows for endless variation of the imagination. So that idea of how each person, the gospel is what it is. It's our stable, it's our rock, it's our foundation, it's what we are. But how each person lives the gospel, how each saint expresses his cooperation with God's grace, each one is its own unique work of art. And the Romanesque really has a tremendous capacity of transmitting that concept, and it's all born out of these two centers. And all of that beauty, all of that work, all of the decoration went up quite literally in smoke on July 15th of 1823, when a fire broke out during just some regular work. It's hot in July, people were working up, they needed embers to light the area. The ember wasn't put out right, it was sitting on top of a wood timbered roof, and the church went up in smoke. As a matter of fact, there's a very kind of touching engraving, because a lot of people went out, the fire went on for 2 days. A lot of people went out to see it. There's a very moving engraving where you see the fire department, you know, the 1823 fire department, with a little cart and with these little buckets on the cart coming up from the river. And you just see the towering inferno of the church, and you realize the church never stood a chance. And so Pius VII was dying that night, as a matter of fact. Pius VII, who had weathered the entire Napoleonic storm, he dies. And they don't have the heart to tell him about St. Paul's outside the walls, but it meant his successor immediately would have to deal with the problem of rebuilding St. Paul's. And here's the situation. This is after the French Revolution. This is after the Enlightenment. This is after this huge secularist wave that has spread throughout Europe. You know, half of Europe is Protestant. The rest don't seem to care about religion at all. Who on earth is going to be interested in rebuilding this ancient church that belonged, this ancient papal basilica? And yet, Leo XII put out an appeal, which was then repeated by Gregory XVI. The entire Catholic world responded, gathering together what was 400,000 scudi, which is a ton of money, to be able to rebuild this church. It drew the church together again. But the best part is, it didn't just draw the Catholics together. The entire Christian world contributed, and even non-Christians contributed. So when you walk into the church, you have these beautiful alabaster columns framing the main doors, a gift from Muhammad Ali of Egypt, the alabaster in the windows, Fuad I from Egypt, the malachite altars in the transept, a gift from Tsar Nicholas of Russia. So I mean, literally the entire world, again, the sense of unity, everybody contributing, everybody being part of the legacy of unity that St. Paul gave us.